Every generation believes they're living at the edge of something monumental. But this time, we actually are. You can feel it in your body, in your work, in your relationships. Something underneath everything is rearranging itself. The old rhythm no longer works. The old scaffolding is coming undone. And everyone, from mystics to mathematicians, is trying to explain why. Astrology calls it the Pluto Return. Roughly every 248 years, Pluto, planet of death, power, and transformation, returns to the same position it occupied when the United States was founded. It's the cosmic equivalent of a reckoning. Everything built on control or exploitation rises to the surface to be restructured or destroyed. That's not superstition. That's history repeating itself. Revolution, renewal, rebirth. Every empire meets its Pluto moment, and ours is right on schedule. But it's not just a US history. Globally, we're transitioning from the age of Pisces into the age of Aquarius, a 2,000-year energetic shift from hierarchy to humanity. From belief to knowing, from obedience to sovereignty. The language may sound mystical, but look around. Decentralization, grassroots movements, technological freedom, it's already happening. Science calls it systems collapse. Neuroscientists talk about overstimulation. Our collective nervous system is fried, flooded with information, constantly plugged in, never fully resting. The human brain wasn't built to process this much input, and it's showing up everywhere. Burnout, anxiety, rage, depression. Sociologists call it the attention economy. But what it really is a body, the human body, saying no more. Meanwhile, climate scientists warn that we've entered the Anthropocene, the first era where human behavior itself reshapes the planet. Weather patterns, species migration, resource depletion, the data is real. We've outpaced our capacity to regulate. And what's true biologically is true spiritually. When any system grows faster than its ability to stabilize, collapse is inevitable. But collapse doesn't mean failure. It means reorganization. Economists call it late-stage capitalism, a system optimized for growth at all costs, running out of things to consume. People exhausted, planets exploited, profits up, purpose gone. You can feel the absurdity of it. Billionaires building rockets while teachers buy school supplies with their own money. We built an economy that feeds off disconnection, and now that disconnection is devouring the system itself. Philosophers call it the crisis of meaning. For centuries, we outsourced purpose to institutions: church, state, career, family. But those scaffolds are cracking. Nietzsche called it the death of God. Postmodernism called it the collapse of the grand narrative. Either way, we've reached the same conclusion. We can no longer find identity in the systems that we're supposed to. Sociologically, it's the burnout society. Philosopher Byung-Chul Han says modern life replaced external oppression with self-exploitation. You are both master and slave, burning ourselves out in the name of freedom. The grind became religion. The body became collateral damage. And now the body is fighting back. Spiritually, it's evolution. Indigenous prophecies call this the time of the Great Remembering. The Mayan calendars mark 2012 not as an end, but as a reset. A shift from mechanical time to natural rhythm. Mystics, channelers, quantum physicists, all describing the same event through different dialects. Humanity's frequency is rising, and resistance to that rise feels like suffering. Religion calls it revelation. Christian prophecy names earthquakes, famine, plague, and moral decay as the signs of the end times. To many, the chaos feels like proof, the book of Revelation unfolding word by word. In Islam, it's the Fitna, the great tribulation before the return of Isa. In Hinduism, the Kila Yuga, the dark age before renewal. And in Buddhism, the cycle of samsara, the endless turning of creation, decay, and rebirth. In indigenous traditions, the seventh generation prophecy, a time when humanity must remember its original connection to Earth or face self-destruction. Different names, same theme. Endings that are really beginnings. Purification before rebirth. The sacred pattern that every religion in its own language calls inevitable. But here's what's interesting. Even religion, when stripped of fear and symbolism, describes the same energetic mechanics as science and spirituality. Pressure building until transformation becomes non-negotiable. Spiritual teachers call it ascension. Mystics, channelers, quantum thinkers, all describing a frequency jump, an awakening of human consciousness. They talk about the veils thinning, timelines collapsing, DNA activating. Some of it sounds far-fetched until you realize the measurable science behind it. Heart-brain coherence, resonance fields, neuroplasticity reshaping identity itself. Consciousness as an electromagnetic field, not a metaphor, but a measurable fact. Human design gives it a date, 2027, the end of the cross of planning, the end of collective control, the start of the sleeping phoenix era, an energetic mutation where survival no longer depends on systems, but on self-trust, where individuality replaces conformity as the source of stability, where personal alignment becomes the new architecture of the collective. When I first learned this, it landed in my body like truth. It explained everything I'd been watching happen in my clients, in my work, in the world. So maybe it's the stars, maybe it's prophecy, maybe it's biology, maybe it's all of them at once. Different languages describing the same truth. We are in a turning of the ages, a global initiation, a species-level recalibration. What's ending isn't just governments, religions, or economies. It's the old story of who we thought we had to be.